Hi there, and welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. And was I angry today? Oh, yes, I was. You don't want to know. I think I told a few people, and a few people might have heard me being angry. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Real Talk with Very Angry Soccer Mom. The live show discussion topics, as always, include anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption. Corruption. Corruption's huge. I think I need a staff of people just to handle the corruption in this country. I think we all knew about it, but dang, it's everywhere in the news now. The live show discussion topics include all those things, but it's also meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and to serve as an educational tool in cultural competency with a focus on learning the truth about systemic racism in America. So if you are new to watching, please listen and say hello. And if you're confident, Jamie, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for earlier also. Be confident that you will be learning, and if you have questions, jump right in, or comments. And if you have any friends that you think would benefit from chatting with an open discussion about systemic racism, corruption, bigotry, and all that is going on in this country, racism, bigotry, and inequality. And inequality is huge. Oh, goodness, GETV, welcome. Did I hear that Senator Ron Johnson tried to apologize for his racist statements? Oh, goodness gracious. I did not. In fact, that's interesting because I was online. I didn't hear his apology, which would have been probably one of the most laughable, disingenuous things on the planet. But I did not hear him. When people... Okay, I'll start. You got me on a rant already, and I've barely started. Here's the thing. When people say something racist out of their mouth, okay, the first thing they do before they yak it out there is they think it. They feel it, okay? They feel it. Then they think it, okay? Then it comes out. Feel it, think it, comes out. You can't apologize for the way you feel. I'm sorry. That is who he is. You'll notice that people who are not overtly racist will never in their entire life say the N-word, never in their entire life be overtly over-the-top racist. It's not how they think. I mean, it's just a really strange thing, and I like to break it down that way. So an apology is disingenuous by nature. When you are, the man was just going on and on and on. I'm going to get to some stuff about him today. We might get there. But anyway, so if you're here, please say hi. And if you are not already signed up, Ronald, thank you for being here. It's been a rough evening, but I am here. So that's kind of my take on apologizing for saying really racist things. Also, these people have been at this for years. So an apology it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing, quite frankly. What do you guys think? That my take has always been, I'm sorry, you cannot apologize for openly spewing, purposefully spewing racism. That's obnoxious and hurtful and hateful. But and that might be the least of his problems. He's got some serious issues. He claims he was never afraid of the insurrection by the militia, but if it was the Black Lives Matter movement, he would have been scared. I've read all that and seen that, and he's really, really just, that foot just cannot get crammed in his mouth any further. But to be honest, I personally, and this is just my take as a white person, from what I've seen and learned, that was absolutely purposeful. He knew exactly what he was saying. These aren't accidents. These people aren't saying things by accident. They're very purposeful. And, it's kind of scary, actually. But like I say to white folks in America, take what you think the level and the depth of racism in this country, multiply it times a gazillion, and you might be getting close. So, I mean, this stuff's absolutely out of control. There is no way the wealthiest elites who run our country, who are white as hell, and older, people who were raised, with the good old boys, they're not going to change their ways. They like who they are. It's just they're bummed that, a lot of people don't, but they like who they are. They're not changing. Not a chance. An apology, that's a joke. But that's just my take. What do you guys think? Dave, welcome. Great to see you. I love those. Thank you. I'm a leopard now. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like the new shirt. Thank you. GTV, do you think that Derek Chauvin will be convicted? You asked me that before. Honestly, I have no freaking idea. Right now I know they're working on getting rid of some jury people possibly who might have heard about the settlement. I don't know. We are at a time, we're at the high, in my opinion, the highest point where it's all out on the table. We have a system of policing in America that is incredibly corrupt. I compare it, and not in the scope, obviously, but when you think about slavery, it's like the open elephant in the room. Everybody knew it was incredibly barbaric and evil and wrong, but they really wanted money, really badly. So it's like nobody could just kind of, the average person would just kind of go along with it. Maybe they felt powerless. I don't know. I don't care. It's not my place. But when you think about the policing system we have allowed to continue, oh my God, we all know it's corrupt. We all know about this blue line. We all know all the stuff that they don't have to report their kills, their murders, that some of the places are like this club and they indent their little badges when they make a kill of a Black person. It's like a special like barbecue club that they belong to, or I don't know. We all know it's all out in the open. Yet we all just kind of, and I'm not blaming the victims, I promise you. But I'm blaming, it's mostly the white folks who allow this to continue. We have an incredibly corrupt police force in America. Yet I don't see people in the streets screaming right now. And they should be. Sure, they did, for a year. But let's be real. This has been going on for ever. And we've just learned to kind of accept it. And I find it unconscionable that we are allowing this. I mean, when we talk about Asian Americans being attacked, which is a horrible thing, and obviously Trump was one to ignite all that, and calling it Kung flu and being just a racist piece of shit. But if you think about it, this country is ripe and good for that. This happens every single day to Black people. And it has since the beginning of time in this country. There's no articles out every day, and there's no people up in arms. About 1,000 people are killed each year, and that's a rough estimate. A lot of people think it's double that amount because the police don't have to report it. It's voluntary. That's really scary. Let me see what people have to say. I mean, so we are living in a society that we all just kind of have, I'm sorry to say this, we've normalized a police force that kills with impunity. And I promise you, they're not just killing Black people. They're killing white people too. But they're killing Black people at exorbitantly higher percentages than in the population. Double or more. We got corruption on steroids, and we've all, not we, you guys, but as a collective, the white masses who have the supposed power, not anymore, or if they ever did, the white elites are doing their thing. So I want to thank everyone for being here. And especially tonight, I want to do a quick shout out to anyone who feels like they want to support what I'm doing here. I am really struggling with this show, and I think I'm going to change the format of it, because I have to work really hard just to barely keep up. And I don't know if I can keep all this up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask people to really help me. Thank you. Thanks, Ronald. I'm going to ask people to help me. If you know friends or anyone who wants to watch, bring them on. I would love it. introduce them. I'm here, call in, which I will give the number in a second, and let them know what I'm doing. I'd really appreciate the support. What I might end up doing, and I haven't decided yet, because I am doing the book club, which is starting this Sunday. I can't wait. It's chapter 2, and I'll get to that. But what I really need is some support to get people hyped up about coming on and talking and calling in and all that. I love having people here. I really appreciate it. So anyway, I'm blabbing away. I have a couple of announcements. I'll take some comments. GETV, he has claimed a lot of things. He is really, really just ludicrous. Since the insurrection, since the terrorism, the white supremacist terrorism, he's been running his mouth off. Oh my goodness. And he's just ridiculous. I'm not sure what's going on with him. But Jamie, what he said was straight out racist. How can he feel safe with people attacking our Capitol and they feel they're patriotic people? And if this was Black Lives Matter, he would be in fear for his life. Well, maybe Black Lives Matter people know what a freaking racist he is. Maybe he should be in fear for his life. Sorry, just saying. No, I'm kidding. I know what he meant. What he was trying to say is Black people are horrible and violent. And that is actually the very much opposite of the truth. The truth is that an overwhelming amount, like pretty much most of the problems and terrorism that goes on in America is from white men. No, not Muslims. No, not Black people, even though they probably many feel, God, that's like incredible that Black folks cannot want to lash out. I don't get it. I'm sure they do. Some people say they would if they could. I don't know, but you can't blame them, for God's sakes. But I gotta say, this stuff's out of control. It really is. The man is ludicrous. But I agree, Jamie. He's ridiculous. I am so over saying to people, like, making excuses. The man is a racist piece of shit. Okay? I don't need to know any more than that. People don't act this way. You can't pretend to be this way. This is who he is. And it needs to be called out for exactly what it is. I am so done with white folks, especially, no offense, making excuses for these absolute white supremacists who we happen to get into office. They're ridiculous. They make me sick. They're pathetic. Because I guess I feel that way. I'm going to be really honest with you. When people act that way to my brothers and sisters who are Black, brown, indigenous, African American, they're doing it to me. And I truly feel that way. And I don't know why I feel that way. I wish more people would feel that way. I feel personally assaulted. How dare they think they can act that way and get away with it? How dare they? And I have this serious white privilege going. I mean, obviously, white, very white, lots of privilege. And they make me sick. I think, how dare they get voted into office, have the honor of serving the people, and then take my people, because I consider people my people, and do this to them. And it makes me so angry. And so sometimes Angry Soccer Mom is a good name for me, as goofy as it might sound. It actually does describe, because I can't believe the gall of these people. I'm not a savior, but oh my God, the injustice is surreal. And it's all made up and ridiculous. But I'll take some more comments. Jamie, I agree 100%. Dave, I think there's better than 50% chance Chavin will be convicted. They have a pretty diverse jury pool, but it only takes one juror to hold out, and that monster could walk. I'm not sure. Sometimes I look at things in the inverse. For example, with Chavin, okay, here's the bottom line. If he is not convicted, then who the hell would be? We saw him basically smother this man, sit on his neck with his knee for, God, what was it, 8+, God, they're telling all these different times. We saw him murder our fellow human on TV, and like with people screaming, please stop, please don't hurt him. If he isn't held accountable, then no one will ever be. I'm sorry. This system that we have allowed to continue, and I mean we, the people in power, because I promise you, if that had been a blue-eyed blonde person that he was snuffing out, this would not even be, there would be no question. I mean, probably the guy would be, well, I don't even say it, but let's just be real. The depth of racism in America is truly unconscionable. It's insane. But I have no idea what's going to happen. We need complete and utter. We need to dismantle this sick thing we've allowed to happen for centuries. It didn't just start. We just got cameras and now we can see a lot of it more. Everybody knew what was going on. Just saying. This is an incredibly openly corrupt program. Openly corrupt. And, we all kind of stay quiet, until somebody does something really bad. And then we get on camera. And like I was telling my child today, I was kind of making a joke, being sarcastic. I was being sarcastic. I was saying about something that I saw on TV. It was a horrible thing. And I said to my child, well, we don't know what happened before the camera started rolling. And then I started laughing and I said, young lady, we don't care what happened before the camera started rolling. There is nothing that could have happened before the cameras were rolling that could justify this sick treatment. Nothing. And she was laughing because she totally knows me. And it's like, how many times can we say this over and over again? It's crazy. I will take more comments and stop blabbing away. But I'm really thrilled to have everyone here. I really needed this tonight to have my friends show up. Thank you so much to everybody. Seriously. Dave. Okay. Dave, at least if he isn't convicted of the most severe charges, there are other charges he could be convicted on. Right. They did set him up for something's going to happen. The man sat there so smugly. Like, I don't even get it. It was almost like insanity. I mean, he did that. This was not over a minute. This was not 30 seconds. Do you know how long? Have you ever just sat and timed out 8 minutes, just maybe with your knee on the ground? This is a ludicrous amount of time. You are thinking. You have time to think. He heard people begging. Anyway, I won't get into it. I'm not trying to get people riled up. It's a ludicrously long time to snuff the human life out of a person. It's incredible. Dismantle and rebuild for all the people. And enough with this total punitive, horrible. A lot of nations don't even have police with guns. Yet we kill over 1,000 people a year. Police. We are accepting incredibly low standards. And I don't know what to say. I will keep answering questions. Yeah, something's got to give. GETV. The city settled for $27 million for the family of George Floyd in the civil suit. Yes, and it happened to come out just right, before as the jury's being all seated. I think that's kind of interesting. The way it goes, I don't know. So now they're afraid the jury's completely tainted and that, it's not going to be. I don't get how it couldn't be. I mean, I don't know what to say. I think people will still go by the law, but I mean, nobody is going to be able to erase that from their head, what they saw. They saw a white man smugly laying on a crying person, begging for his mother. I mean, what kind of a monster could watch that and not have some sort of oh my God. So, I mean, this is really awful. And I don't know why he did it. I mean, even white supremacists don't do things like that on camera. I mean, it was a crazy thing, but I guess they do. I don't know. I have no answers, and I don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen. Something has to happen. If not this time, then it'll never happen. Then police just, woohoo, free for all, because that's pretty much what it is. Why go through the charade? I mean, this is crazy. We need so much dismantling reform. Oh my God. Okay, I'm just going to say it really fast. Think about this. A police officer who really, compared to most countries that are like countries, really aren't that well trained. Put training aside even. Let's say they were well trained, which they're not. They're trained in one thing mostly, and I've done research on this, people. They're trained to shoot a gun really straight so they can hit somebody. Okay, that's the number one thing they're trained. Not on de-escalation, not on how to determine the difference between a mentally ill person, a developmentally disabled person, a person who's having a reaction to medication, a person who's been drinking too much. Doesn't matter. And their escalation techniques are incredible. I would almost go to say, as a teacher who had de-escalation training, I probably had more than, I'm not trying to be arrogant here, but I mean, I've probably had more de-escalation training than most police, okay? From what I've read, what they get. And what they never do in non-emergencies is use time on their side. I know that sounds ridiculous, but time on their side is huge. Time is a silly little thing, but your feelings change with time. You change your feelings with time, which makes your thoughts change, which changes things. They are constantly rush, 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 whether the person has a gun or has nothing. They just rush and they escalate everything, and it is terrifying and traumatizing. How about it's not an emergency situation with somebody with a weapon? Why don't they just sit down with the person? And I mean, I don't know. Why aren't they trained in combat Hapkido? Every last one of them, because they're not. The first thing they do, tase and gun, tase and gun. It's like, that's the last thing somebody who's having a mental health crisis needs is a police to come and hurt them and try to take them away and try to, threaten them. And oh my God. So, I mean, these people can get a cat out of a tree. Okay, I guess that's like a skill. I'm just saying. Can get a bad guy, a real bad guy with a gun. Has to determine who's drunk, who's disabled, who's having a freaking seizure, who actually is having a medical emergency, who's armed, who's not. Check their own bias. Check their overt racism. Check this, check that. Watch that blue line. Give me a break. It's not going to happen. It's a shambles, and I have no doubt that nothing's going to change till it is absolutely dis-freaking-mantled. This is a nightmare we have, and we've allowed it. So enough of my blabbing. Sorry. I kind of got on a rampage. It's been a rough night. But thanks for listening. I will keep. Okay, let me see. Good evening. I am Legend. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you being here. GETD. I will probably take it'll probably take another civil war to set things straight. What do you think? I used to think, thank you for asking, GETV. About 2 years ago, just being real here, I thought there was hope. I now see that the GOP is the party of pure hatred. They're not even trying anymore. They're not even trying to seem like decent human beings. It's not that hard to be a decent human being, people. We're all humans. We all know that. It's a gift. Here's my take. We've been given a gift of all the animals around. We have the ability to be afraid, to be scared, to be sad, to be angry, and to not act on it. We have this incredible thing called, I guess it's called thinking. And yes, it hurts. It's hard to do sometimes, harder for others. But if it's really hard for you, you got to try it even harder. Thinking, critical thinking skills. It's a gift. We don't have to act on these irrational, completely ludicrous emotions based on lies. We don't have to. We can hear a lie and say, no, that doesn't really make sense to me. I think you want to react, and then you stop yourself. And it's a really cool thing. I consider it a gift. I don't know if everyone does, but we don't have to act like freaking animals. We can act like humans. And yes, it takes time. it's kind of painful, I guess, to a lot of people. And a lot of us choose to act on fear and do surface level action, which is fear-based. And it's really, really not good. I mean, we're supposed to have a constituency that's fairly educated in order to succeed in this supposed democratic republic. And I think we've just kind of gone off the deep end with and they were probably always like that, but now they're not even trying. I mean, it's crazy. So I think we're in a lot of trouble, and I'm losing hope very rapidly. I am pleased of what Biden seems to be trying to do. He's not perfect. No, I did not wish him to be my first choice. Not second, not third, not even 10th. But I feel he's our only hope. Trump's still running the other side. And like what's happening in Georgia, oh my God, that's just, it's unconscionable. They're not even pretending. They're pretty much saying, we want to stop Black people from voting. And thank God we have so many Stacey Abrams and people like that to say, she's just so strong. When I don't know if she cries in the corner, I would, and I do. But she's fight, fight, fight. And I just can't thank everybody enough for fighting, because they're fighting for our democracy. Like I've said this so many times on so many shows. That's awesome that we got Trump out. But there's 73 point whatever, I'm not even going to round it up to 74 million people in America who think he's some sort of God. I mean, you could say, well, the first time maybe they made a mistake, but no, they voted for him. They want pure, cruel, inhumane white supremacy. That's what they want. And you might say, oh, angry soccer mom, they're not all racist. And I say, oh, people saying that, you know what? They might not be, I say it every time, they might not be burning crosses and, walking around in sheets, but it wasn't a deal breaker for them. So they don't get, no. If somebody supports Trump, I promise you, they're racist. And I'm not into name calling, but I'm also not into this bullshit like, oh, well, maybe they'll say sorry. No sorry. Way past sorry. White people, there's no sorry. Talk's cheap. You show that you care about your fellow humans and all of them. You show it in action. And then you keep doing it, and you keep doing it over time. And that's all you can do. You don't talk about how woke you are. You don't talk about how not racist you are. The minute a white person says, I'm not racist, well, you know what? That just says it all. It says it all, because they're perfect now, right? They're not racist. So they have nothing to work on. They don't have to keep trying. They don't have to delve into, how they were raised. They don't have to do some introspection. They don't have to think about some of their maybe biased thoughts. No, they're fine. They've quit because they're fine. They're perfect. They're not racist. Well, I'm here to say, actually, I am racist. Okay? I don't want to be, but I was raised in a ludicrously racist society. And I will spend the rest of my life as a white person working on it. It's a lifelong, it's not a hobby. It's just not a hobby. It's a lifestyle. Not because I'm this horrible person, but because I'm human. I care about my fellow humans. I'm not special. Everyone should be doing this. I don't get credit, but when you say, I'm not racist, you're done. Everybody from living in this society has implicit bias. It's a normal part of evolution. I mean, we have it for everything. You can even take an implicit bias test online from Yale University. Some people, discredit them. Some people say they're good, but they're definitely interesting. You'd be surprised. They have one for almost every topic. So I'm just saying, the minute you declare yourself as a white person, not racist, you are part of the problem because you stopped. You're fine. You don't have to learn. You don't have to read. You don't have to grow. You don't have to care. You don't have to have empathy. You don't have to make a friend, make a really close friend and know their plight with someone who's Black or brown or indigenous, because you're not racist. Problem solved. And that's my that's my take. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And also, I don't look at being racist as like this, oh my gosh. I mean, overtly, yes, but implicit bias, if you use implicit bias to discriminate or to act upon it, sorry. That's, if you act upon it, you're discriminating. That's racist, So it's a long story. But what I look at it as a continuum. Are you racist is not a yes or no question. It's a continuum that's very steep, because we, like everybody, not just white folks, are indoctrinated into this sick system. We barely even notice it. So anyway, I'm blabbing as usual. Let me keep answering questions. Yeah, you know what? GETV, I don't know. Maybe. I think I get the feeling we're going to find out. We saw the absolutely indignant insurrection at January 6th. Was there anybody who saw those guys going in? And I was like, you know what? They should be arresting them as they come right out. But oh no, they were just escorted right out. I was like, are you kidding me? They were all lining up leaving. I thought, are you kidding me? They should be arrested on the spot. So that was can we say white privilege on steroids? It's disgusting. This nation really showed its true self in incredible ways. They went there to kill people. I don't care if it was premeditated or not. They broke into the place where our national government was trying to do work with the election. And they were yelling and saying they were going to do things to this. These people left. I can't even go there. Okay, let me just get down here. Okay. Yeah, it might. I don't know. It might. Thank you, Ronald. Jamie, what are your thoughts on the video I sent, the Treaty of, I started watching that, but I didn't get through the whole thing. I watched that, and Jamie sent me a video on how our land was taken, how Mexican people's land was taken away in the most vile way. I want to do some sort of video, a shorter video version of it, but I have to study a lot more to do that. I had no idea about, there's so much history that if we don't know our real racial history, then when we go to talk about, our modern problems, I'm going to be really blunt. Our opinion is pretty much worthless. And with Dunning-Kruger on the rise, I suppose, as an effect that is very much a problem. And those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically you equate your opinion. You know so little about a topic that you don't realize that you don't know shit about a topic. Okay, I'm just saying. So that is like a PhD who studied it their entire life. Okay, I'll do it again. I'll say it again. Don't hate me for it. You're going to the moon. You're really excited. It's your first time. Not a lot of people have gone to the moon. They aren't astronauts. It's your first time for fun. So your friend goes, oh my gosh, angry soccer mom, I can't wait to tell you all about, I love the moon. I love the moon. I love the moon. I saw Apollo 13 5 times. And you're like, oh, good. So I know exactly what to tell you. So don't even, I will teach you. And you're kind of like, I was kind of hoping to go to NASA and maybe have a couple of sessions with some astrophysicists, some rocket scientists, maybe some actual real astronauts. But no, that person truly believes, that they loved the movie. I mean, what can we say? You get the point. Not all people's opinions can be weighted equally. Some people are actually, we're too each topic is just too in-depth for everybody to be up on everything. We specialize now. We're very specialized. So that's just something to keep in mind, and it's a hard thing to understand. Not all opinions are weighted equally, and they shouldn't be, because they're not. So that's my silly example. Okay. Let me see. Jamie, I want to go over that. I started it and I got many minutes into it and I was like, dang. And I promise I will. Dave, I want to do the book group last Sunday, but I couldn't. Yes, it was last Sunday. I was out of town. I tried to spread the word. I am so sorry about that. But this Sunday, we were on for chapter 2. And I was not sure how that was going to go with the book club, but I was thrilled. Just my friend T was on it, my friend Roy, my friend Tim. There's a cat right to my right. It's like crawling around. I have a nice cat and an evil cat, and it's the evil one. Okay, it's like basically, don't look at me, I'm hideous. And then it's like, look at me, do it. So it's like really, it's kind of a scary cat. Okay, enough about that cat. Just if I look that way, it's because we were going to have to get a snake. Okay, so we got to kill. I do have a nice one. All right, so please come this time, Dave. I'm so sorry about that. That's awful. GETV, Angry Soccer Mom, you're doing a tremendous job on YouTube. We appreciate. Oh, thank you, GETV. Thank you. It's just I am extremely. Don't make me cry. I already did that today. I'm really, really hard on myself, and I'm just so overwhelmed. There's so much going on, and I really haven't taken a day off since I've taken lots of hours off, but since Trump got in, I just was like, I'm not. And it's not even that I need a day off. It's just a lot. And I'm very demanding. I'm probably my own worst enemy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks. GETV. We hear that top media companies are now giving the Asian public community the impression that the Black people are along attacking them. What a piece of crap, don't you think? Yeah. Actually, today I was looking into that, looking for some coalitions that go together so that I want to, maybe you guys can help me. If you know people who have had experience with the Asian community or who have joined coalitions that meet up together, because I'm starting to see some good things coming out of the Asian community in general, in the Pacific Island community, where some of them are opening up their eyes in the sense that they're realizing, wow, this is what our Black brothers and sisters go through every day. And there is a tension that's gone on. And from what I've read, a lot of the folks that are, extremely concerned in the Asian and Pacific Island side are saying, we're really not bright to not get together with them, because this is exactly what the white folks who are the wealthiest elites love. They love splitting and blaming. They love when the white masses blame Black people for everything. They love when we blame brown people. They love it. They love the rumors, and they thank us for our service with every extra $1 million they make. And the real focus needs to be on economics. If we ever in a million years came together, the people who are white and are like, okay, this is BS, this is sick, the people who are being abused through this horrific systemic racism, even the people who are somehow getting by that are brown, it is still their responsibility. Because Martin Niemöller, I hate to even go into this, Martin Niemöller was a pastor, a German pastor, and he was around during Hitler's time. And he was I guess you could say he was an academic. And he actually kind of got on Hitler's shit list, and he got personally imprisoned by Hitler, but he ended up living, and he got out. And he used to speak to his classrooms. He was a professor. And he would read, and there's many versions of this, and it's not a poem, it's more of a saying. He'd say, first they came for the Unionists, and I wasn't a Unionist, so I didn't do anything. Next they came for, and he'd name another group, and I wasn't one of them, so I didn't do anything. And then they came for me, and there was nobody left to help. It is absolutely truthful in that. Do not think for 1 minute that your group isn't next. Like many, much smarter, much more famous, much more incredible people than me have said over time. When it happens to, and they don't say it this way, but they say what happens to when there's no justice for one group is no justice for any groups. We just don't seem to get it. And the people who really don't get it are white folks. Because you see, we really don't get it. And if you watch the chapter 1 and the Michael Eric Dyson does an incredible introduction, plus chapter 1, plus the author's introduction, plus there's she does like a million things before chapter 1. I'm like, oh my God. It's incredible how spot on she is about how we avoid all this. We avoid the truth. And we didn't do it, but we live in the system. So why not be there for our fellow humans? We're on the earth for such a short amount of time. Why be here and choose to be cruel and set us up so that our children and your children it's all for nothing. We're all people. And anyway, my rant has a lot to do with that tonight, but I'm gonna stop blabbing if that's possible, which the jury's out. Okay. Thank you, GETV. And I am a school teacher, or I was for a really long time. Thanks, Carried Back. Thank you. Thanks, Carried Back. I am human, maybe a little too human, and I just lose it sometimes. I called like 2 different people crying right before the show. I just get overwhelmed because I want to do such a good job. I don't know how to build an audience. I don't have all this marketing stuff. I don't know how to, I am who I am. So I guess I'm just too hard on myself, but thank you. You're very, very sweet. Betmass, if you read the questionnaire they give to the potential jurors, you can tell they're setting that killer up to walk. Oh, I'm sure. Betmass, thanks for being here. I have no doubt, because you see, it's what we do. It's what we do. I believe if he does get off, they're going to make it like this. They're going to make it so that the jury has no choice. And this is just my take. I have no idea. They're going to make it so the jury has no choice, because some of the findings are going to be where it's, what they're going to get down to something very technical. Okay, I'm sorry. Snuffing the life out of somebody with your freaking knee, which we all saw. See, here's the problem. I have a fundamental problem with not having common sense. Okay. And I get, everyone should have their time in court and all that, and have justice served and whatnot. And I'm not for being vigilante, saying guilty, kill him now, whatever. But can we please be real? At a certain point, you have to say, if the man's knee wasn't on him, I don't care what's in his system. I don't care what happened prior. He wouldn't have died. I mean, I'm sorry that you cannot pinpoint sometimes he had his knee on him for 8 freaking minutes. He couldn't breathe. Oh my God. Don't even get me started. So yeah, I'm so sure. Supposedly less than 1% of police who kill and go to trial ever have any consequences whatsoever. So that's pretty bad. And if you think about the police system that we have allowed for centuries, you'll get why. They can just switch to go to another precinct. No one will know. There's a town I did a video on. That's all they do. People who it is known for, if you screwed up somewhere else, you killed someone, you got off, come on over. It's ridiculous. So I should have gotten that one out tonight. But yeah, Betmass, I absolutely believe it. Hi, Nails and Glitter. I hope you're still there. And T. Rogers, hello. Ramses, you heard about all the raids on Asian shops for sex trafficking. No, I did not hear about all the raids on Asian shops for sex trafficking. I did not. I did hear that 6 out of 8 people were murdered by a person who went on a shooting rampage and purposely went into shops owned by Asian people, I believe, which is really sick, really, really sick. It's not good. But no, I did not hear that. If you want to tell us about it, go for it. But be ready, because if you tell us something that people think isn't true, they're gonna pounce. It's kind of what we do here. So, but yeah, send me an article if you want. I'm happy to read it. Bitmass. Well, as we all know, they don't something late because the intent is to harm and kill. They don't de-escalate. Got it. Yeah, and it's just, I don't get it. It's barbaric. It's barbaric. Clearly, I mean, common freaking sense. It's a human being. They're not armed. It's a kid. What are they going to do to you? I'm sorry. I'm medium size. I'm not like huge. I'm not like teeny by any means. I've studied martial arts. You can learn some very, very easy techniques to get by. You don't have to shoot and murder people. You don't have to tase them and be a jackass. I mean, oh my God, we're not even close. It's not like, well, they tried to do. No, it's like we're not even trying. And I don't get it. But anyway, I get it's a dangerous job, but I'm thinking, if you're a black man, that's more of a dangerous job. I'm not talking about a police. I'm talking about just a black man. Just saying. We have allowed this sick right in the open. Let me see. Carry back. Think about the weight and the clarity of the evidence against the defendant. In almost any other situation, the defendant and their attorney would have been aching for a deal. Good point. Here, they are declining to take a deal because they believe there's a better than 50-50 chance of acquittal based on the rarity of police being convicted in the past. Thank you. Can you please come on the show, please? And be my partner here? Exactly. They're not taking a deal because that little smug look he had for us was pretty genuine, I'm guessing. I don't know him. I can't speak to his heart, but all I know is I saw somebody snuff the life out of somebody with their smug little look, with their hand in their pocket, while people on the side, white, black, brown, begged him to stop. I'm sorry. If he is not considered to have murdered him, then it's a free-for-all. You know, I mean, I guess it is a free-for-all, because if not this case, then no case will ever be. I mean, it's ridiculous. But, and again, I'm a layperson. Don't listen to me. Listen to the experts. I'm just saying what makes sense. I'm pretty okay with common sense most of the time. So people who really know me well know I kind of lose it sometimes. But all right. But yeah, no, you're carried back. Exactly. And Nails and Glitter. Americans don't value black people, so they can treat us however they want. Yeah. 100%. I'll never forget the time I was, what was it? I was in this museum, this really snooty museum. And another story. Okay, one more story. This was like over the top. I was with the brownies, the little brownies, you know, like Girl Scouts, little mini Girl Scouts. And we went to this snobby ballet museum. The ballet, the Museum of Dance. And this is about as dressy as I ever get, okay? This is like, not very dressy, but this is as dressy as I ever get, like jeans and like, you know, maybe like I put earrings on. Okay, that's about me being fancy. So I'm not into snobby. I was raised with very snobby people. Long story, you don't want to hear it. I went in there and they had a number of beautiful ballerinas up all over the museum. It was a beautiful place. It's a very expensive, you know, like you can tell it's really nice, beautiful museum. It's the Museum of Dance. And the curator, the person who was teaching the little brownies, decided that, I don't know what got into her. My child was the only child that was not white. They're my little child. This was years ago. And my poor child, she went up to my child and said, look, this was like cringeworthy. Look, little child, who's that? And she pointed to a brown ballerina. And my kid's like, I don't know. And she said, yes, you do. And I'm thinking, no, she doesn't. We're not into ballet. We don't know anything. She goes, oh, yes, you do. You know. I'm thinking, oh my God. Oh my God. She thinks like that they're all like related or something, or like, of course. She goes, yeah, and this is in front of like 12 or 15 people plus their parents. Yes, you do. You know. Who is that? And I don't know why I'm telling this story, but it just, oh my God. Just the depth of white supremacy. She said it in front of everybody. And she's demanding on my little, like, I think it was 5. And she's like, Mama. I'm like, no, she doesn't know who that is. It's just like, not to be a bitch, but it's like, oh my God, there's like 500 ballerinas up and anyway, we cannot underestimate the depth of systemic racism in this society. Like, I need to tell you guys that, but I'm just saying it's crazy. When I think of police getting off, boy, we're right. We don't value Black people, and we don't know crap about Black people either. We just, like, this woman truly believed that all Black people must know each other, and all Black people know all famous Black. It's just like, oh my God, she's 5 years old. What the hell's wrong with you? It was just really weird. It went over her head. She had no idea, but I was like, okay, mouth, put that tongue back in that mouth. So it's not pretty. Let me see. Bet mass. White America relies on Black social death in order to survive. Tell me more. I think I know what you're saying, but I don't want to assume. So if you don't mind, if you're still here, tell me more. Thank you for your honesty about Biden. Oh God, absolutely. I will. I will. Being honest is. I pride myself in being honest, at least as honest as I can be, because I can't be more honest than I am with myself. That's why white folks, we gotta do introspection. We have to be brave, and we have to do it. Because how are we going to become better people if that's just the way it is? I'll never change. It's like, oh my God, thanks. Your fellow humans are like, thanks for nothing. I don't know. Just my take. You're very welcome. It's my honor, the least I can do. Carried back. Strong orientation to all interested in how cops are trained and acculturated. Rosa Brooks' new book, Tangled Up in Blue. Ooh, what a title. She's a Georgetown law professor who trained to be a DC Metro cop. Oh my goodness. That is like the best title. I'm just saying. I have read a few. That's awesome. Thank you, Carried Back. I appreciate it. That's a while ago. I put up, a lot of people kind of think that all white people are like just completely purposely doing this. And I'm sure a lot are, but once in a while you'll run into somebody who truly just doesn't get the culture of police. And I ran into somebody like that who quit. And he wasn't a police officer. He quit before he couldn't. He was like, oh my God, I can't do this. And I read his writing. It was a tearjerker. He truly, it's on my YouTube channel, and he truly didn't know. And it was a really rude awakening for him. He was smart enough to, some of us white folks are really sheltered because we can be. Some of us aren't, but we can be. I grew up, I didn't know anything about, I didn't know what Black was. I was raised in colorblind. You don't talk about it. It's, treat everyone the way you'd like to be treated. You don't say the word Black ever. Never. That's rude. I never heard my parents say a racial epithet in their entire life. I haven't heard my grandparents Not a single one. I learned all those. I should tell you who taught me all those words. No, okay. I never, till I was an adult. Believe me, we can be very, very sheltered. And it's this poor guy. I mean, I felt bad for him, but you know what? He learned and he moved on, and he wrote about it, and it was interesting. A white guy tried to be a police officer and was like, "Oh my God, I am so not doing this." He actually wanted to help people. He's like, no. So that's he wanted to be it his whole life. So it was a tough one. All right. Let me see. Whoa. Okay. I have so many people I want to take care. Uh-oh. Sorry, I got like completely. I'm backing it up. Okay, I finally got there. Marks and shadows. Look him. You're 200% correct. The Trumplican party. Thanks, Marcus. Yeah, I don't want to be correct, but yeah. The GOP hate white women too. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But and you know, Nails and Glitter, you know how I feel about a lot of people say, oh, it's all white men. No, it's not. We white women marry these white men. We let them raise our children racist. No, do not be. It's almost sexist to think it's all white men. Give me a break. White women. This is not like, like the 20s or I don't know, whatever. We know what we're doing. White women have always, throughout history, been horrific in general to the cause of Black equity. It's just a fact. We have been the instigators or the people who refused to be honest and wouldn't stop people from doing crimes against humanity to our fellow humans. So, and I know you weren't going there or anything, but white women we're right there up there. We allow ourselves to get with men who are racist. We do not help them to change and learn and grow or dump their asses. And we have children and we allow them to corrupt our children and continue the cycle of evil familiar racism. And that's what it is. It's a cycle. And like my friend Thomas, who was a former leader of the Aryan Brotherhood of Mississippi. Yes, you heard me. The Aryan Brotherhood of Mississippi. He said in one of the videos I did with him, I did an interview, he said, I broke that cycle. And it was so adorable because he has a son who knows nothing of any of this. Nothing. And he's very proud, and he should be. He almost lost his life. It's a video I did that I feel like I can't ask everyone to see it, but as a white person, it was life-changing to me doing this interview. I thought, oh, Nazi, this, that, oh my God, was I schooled by this man? Hey, life lesson. So if you get interested, it's a 4-part interview I did, and I learned a lot. But next, okay, I am so lost my place again. Our lack of choice right now for presidential candidates means we need to move differently with politics. Yeah, I mean, my big thing right now was this, and I don't know how, like, if you follow the show a little bit or follow any of my videos, but I blab constantly about the fact that a vote for me was a vote against Trump because he is set, and he still is set on it. And I don't think we're out of the, I think we're still in lots of trouble. Okay. I'm just saying it still could happen. We're at the twilight of our democracy. Okay. And boy, did that sneak up on me personally. I guess I just was too busy living life, but he wants to be a dictator. It's not, does he? It's, he does. And so a vote was to try to somehow keep our supposed democratic republic. It wasn't like, oh, I thought we had horrible choices. I thought we had originally had some nice choices. But it was like the DNC just decided that Biden was the person and we didn't get a choice. We're at the twilight of democracy. Very, very huge percentages of people in America, I'm talking Republicans and independents and Democrats, agree on some very, very big issues like common sense gun laws, yet we don't have them. The percentages sometimes go up into the 90s. I'm talking, we all agree we should have something and we don't. So I don't know if this nation was ever really run by the people, of the people, for the people, or whatever order you put it in, but it certainly is not now. There are a number of issues that almost everybody, a very big majority, agree on across party lines. And we don't have them, and we're not going to have them. So we are not being run by the people, and if we ever were. And I believe racism is a huge part of that. Not that racism, it's economics, okay? But we use racism as a tool so that white America is played the fool. We blame Black people for everything, when actually the truth is it's the wealthiest elites who are running the show. And I will not read Lyndon B. Johnson's quote again. I will not do it. You know I will. If I look it up on the phone. Anyway, it's all over every video I have. I've stamped it as the first thing. On every video I have, it says his quote about how white America has been fooled. He's right. It's really sad. Okay, I will be quiet now. In reality, we have two conservative parties, but a populist that leans socialist. Yeah, a lot of folks tell me who are in Europe, they laugh their asses off. They're like, you're not, how people are like, oh, AOC's so extreme. Oh, no, she's not. They're like, she's like middle of the road in Europe. She's not extreme at all. She just seems extreme because we've allowed this conservatism to create this inhumane environment. And a lot of it's more complicated than that, but a lot of people laugh their head off. They're thinking the Green New Deal, people actually having a living wage, not a wealthy wage, a living wage, so they can actually live. This is not extreme. No. I don't know. I sometimes think our expectations are really low. We just like to say, yay, we're American. Well, like, that's great. But not if the people aren't running the country and half the people are reading fake news. They're reading fake stuff and believing it. And like, oh my God. And they think, I don't want to get into the QAnon stuff, but it's so scary. I mean, half the country's like indoctrinated. How can half the country be indoctrinated? Oh my God. So anyway, it's crazy. Are you talking about Marcus? Are you talking about Pierce Morgan walking off the set and all that? I haven't really been following that, to be honest. I saw that and I quit or whatever. And then I saw that and it seemed a bit dramatic. And with regards to the royal family and all that stuff, I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, but I'm kind of assuming. Meghan Markle did, she was very in touch with racism and all that. She did I guess a couple of years back, she did a very nice personal interview, very cute, informal, about what she's experienced in her life. And it's short and to the point. I have it on my channel and a lot of people aren't seeing it. And I found it interesting. This isn't a game. This is a person who has been able to pass, but hasn't passed. Her mother is Black. Her mother's not kind of Black. Her mom is a Black mom. She was raised by a Black person and she is a Black woman. And people have to understand, I've seen more nasty things about, she's not really, she's not Black enough, or it's like, oh my God, the colorism has got to stop. It's unbelievable. I've heard white people say it. It's terrible. It's like, first of all, white people shouldn't even be saying one stinking word about any of this. But And I won't get into it because I don't tell Black people how to act and feel and be. That's ridiculous. But I do take note of some of the colorism. And I think it really has also to do with like why the whole problem with Asian Americans and Black Americans and the white wealthiest elites are thrilled. And I'm not blaming the victims here, but oh God, they're thrilled. They love it that Asian people treat, in general, have a very soured relationship with Black Americans in general. They love it. We're doing their dirty work. The white folks, us keeping, blaming people who aren't white for everything, is keeping the elites in place. It's the economics. Black people didn't do this. They're the victims of us. Okay, they didn't do this. They can't. We did everything we could in the world to make sure that they could not accumulate generational wealth. We did everything we could. We did that. But if you talk to the GOP, they're like, it's like, I know you are, so what am I? When I was a little kid, people would say, it was a really nasty thing. I know you are, so what am I? If you call them a name. And it's kind of funny. The GOP is like, they are saying exactly whatever they call anyone else, it's what they're doing. It's like the craziest psychological game. I don't get it, but I don't get it. Let me keep going. So yeah, sorry, I don't follow that really. I can't keep up with all the other stuff, but thanks for asking, Marcus in the shadows. I appreciate it. Indoctri-Nation, racism in a British accent. Okay, that's funny. Tough love might be here. He probably isn't here, so I blabbed and blabbed. Oh my gosh. He is a friend of mine named Mario. He's not like narrow like I am. He does all these different topics, and he's very inspirational. You will see some of his videos on my YouTube. If you want to get a hold of him, give me a buzz. I will get you. You got to see his stuff. Very inspirational, really strong, and you'll get like motivated. Okay. He's really good. And he's really funny too. Let me see, carried back. Trip to the moon example, the WH transition is a sea change from belittling experts to reaching out to those with expertise. Education is not a disqualification in 46's White House. Can you explain more of what you're talking about? Example. I say belittling experts and reaching out to them. I don't want to misquote you or misunderstand you. So if you have time, can you explain it a little bit more? Or you can call, even though I didn't give the number yet. Oops. I have the number somewhere. I'll get it one second. I just want to get through all these things. Ramses, we not dealing with Asians, period. They campaigned to get that Asian off that killed a Black man in New York City. Everyone has their personal thing. I am not here to tell you who to do anything with what. That's your Michael Williams. If you're still here, hello. Appreciate you being here. I have not chatted with you in a while. And T. Rogers, just keep being yourself, Kim. Thank you, T. Rogers. You should be my counselor. I'll pay you. I need counseling. T. Rogers, it's interesting to me how many white people don't realize how commonplace racism is. It's a normal part. It is a normal part of society, particularly for Black people. Things are getting exposed because of this. Yeah, it's unbelievable. We have to be taught to recognize it. As you obviously know, we have to be taught to recognize it. And it's kind of like a long learning curve too. We don't recognize it because we think racism is, we don't even understand microaggressions. We just don't get it in general. And I love teaching beginner white folks. I know that sounds goofy, but beginner white folks are really fragile. And I get it. It's like, it's a little shock to the system. Okay. When you finally catch on and you're like, okay, like everyone who's ever been a person in my life has freaking lied to me. And it's not really like that, but it feels like that. it makes you gotta kind of drop your ego and drop your defensiveness. And most white people I've noticed can't do it. It's not about us. It's just not. And it's a really hard thing to do. So I love working with the new folks. Sometimes I lose people. They're like, I'm not dealing with this BS. And they walk away and they're not ready. I mean, but over time, I've noticed if and it's not the responsibility of people who are oppressed and marginalized throughout history to teach the white folks. I truly believe we need to teach we don't even, like we talked about in this book, which I really hope people check out the first chapter. I think there was a wealth of information in there about the whole first chapter, and the preface and the author's notes and the foreword were all about not racism. They were pre-racism. Why white folks lose it. We lose our shit. We get hysterical when we have to talk about racism. And it was really eye-opening. It sounds so simple. We don't even talk about racism in this book yet. It's about why white folks are incredibly just offended at the word white. It's true. Just the word white. Because we don't belong to a group that's white. We don't associate with a group that's white. That's not how white supremacy in general. I mean, if you're a Klan member, I suppose you do. I can't answer for that. But your average normalized racism, we're just the norm. We're white. What are you talking about? What an insult. We don't, in the olden days, maybe, there was Italians and this and that. Sure. But now, they ended that. The wealthiest elites couldn't have that, because that would mean that we might start associating with different groups. We're all considered white. So now we're we have the numbers. And so like Michael Eric Dyson says, the most successful racism is when it's unspoken. We're just the norm. Everyone else is an other. And just, if you want to see that, I'm not explaining it the way he does, but definitely check out the first chapter. Wow. It was eye-opening. And I read it 4 times, so I'm slow. What can I say? I'm a little slow. Thank you to you, Rogers. You're wonderful. And we are going to have on Sunday night at 9, we're going to have the chapter 2. And all I do is I have these wonderful people on the panel who talk about the Black experience, because they're Black. So anything is the Black experience. Anything. They can talk about going to the zoo. That's the Black experience, because they're Black. So it's like, they don't have to just talk about microaggressions and overt racism. Anything they do does that kind of make sense? So anything they talk about is talking about them. It doesn't have to be like, every 5 seconds just about racist acts. It's about everything. It's all encompassing. It's a system. And sadly, systemic racism permeates like Obama said, it's in the air we breathe. And white folks need to get on board and catch up and just help make it stop. Not to be saviors, way too late for that. Not to be leaders, it's not our place. To be humans. It's called acting human. And yes, I sound horrible and harsh, but every day I learn something new. And as slow as I might be, it adds up. Okay? Our racial history has been kept a secret very purposefully, because it's freaking barbaric. And I won't go more into that. So if you know our real racial history, you can't help. You don't have to convince someone to not be racist, that it's so wrong. You have to teach them our real racial history. And if they can't figure that out themselves, then I can't help them. Anyone with an average norm, even less than an average IQ, you learn our real racial history, and things will come together. And you don't have to beg someone, don't be racist, stop being racist. No, you just need to learn our real racial history, and you will get the system that we were born into and indoctrinated at birth. Okay, I'm done blabbing. Oh my gosh. Hi, Lila Lola. Hi, Lila Lola. Hello. And Pelej, I know I'm saying your name wrong. Don't hate me. We'll have to practice on the phone. Hello. Let me see. I have backed way up. Oh, no, I haven't. T. Rogers, the technology age. We are treated worse than animals. They promote those sad commercials about abused animals. Well, what about Black people? What about fellow humans? Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, I'm all for, and I truly believe, and I know you do too, that we have enough. Well, maybe you don't, because I don't know. Maybe I don't either. I know if we would just allow ourselves to start acting like humans, that we have enough love and compassion for everybody. But for some reason, we really have a horrifically brutal culture. I'm not thrilled with, and when I say this, people say, oh, if you don't like it, leave. Well, see, here's the thing. There's nothing more American than loving your nation so much that you want to make it better. And that's all I want to do. I think we can be better than this. This can't be our best. It just can't be. I won't believe it. This can't be our best. We are horrific to our fellow humans. We bow down to people who have millions and millions of dollars as if they're good people. Well, sure, there are probably a few, but you see, we're basically, our values are really fucked up. Okay? Like, we value wealth over humans. That's sick. It doesn't have to be that way. Wealth over humans? That's not right. Corporations have taken over everything. The little guy, it's good luck with that lemonade stand. I don't know what else to say. Good luck with that lemonade stand. Nice, huh? I'm just saying, boy, it's really changed. And I posted a couple things today from Robert Reich, and I love this man. He's amazing. In fact, he testified today. About inequality. And he is brilliant and a great teacher. He's a Berkeley professor. And he worked for 3 different administrations, I believe. And he came up with some numbers that I think many of us have heard, that, 50 years ago or 40 years ago, a CEO made this many times. I can probably pull it up on my phone if I wanted to, but I didn't memorize it. But it's on my page, on my Facebook page, Angus Zuckerman Facebook page, and now it's ludicrous. It's like 300 something times. I mean, the divide between the haves and the have-nots are just incredible. I'm going to try to get through the rest of these. And then I wanted to do some quick announcements, and I have lots and lots of news to note, and I have 2 quotes, and I want to know what you think of the quotes. Carried back. Lawrence O'Donnell had a great quote last night. Derek Chauvin is the most expensive employee in the state of Minnesota. $27 million costs more than U of something M, football, basketball, hockey, and coaches. U of M. You know what? That is such a great point to make. I'm going to kind of piggyback on that. Imagine how many millions of dollars these police departments pay off people, and it's not their fault, because they murder their family, they murder their children, they murder their husbands, their wives. money alone, that we even have this. How about this? How about the script where they stop murdering people? How about that script? And they can use the money to help people who need the money, instead of people who it will never be enough for. Because you take my child away, there is no amount that can be paid to make my child come back. Somebody, if that happens to me, I don't want their fucking money. I want my kid back. I'm just saying. I want my kid back, and no amount. It's a sick system, you guys. I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of emotional, but I would say I want my child back. And I know that sounds like, sure you would, right? But yeah, I would. If you know me, you know I would. Probably say a few other things too, but why don't we just change the script? Sorry, it's horrible. I've always felt as a teacher that all children are my children. I know that might sound weird to some people, but I would treat your child the way I treat my child, with that much love and attention and caring. And I have. And it's not something like, oh, I deserve credit for. It's the way life's supposed to be. And when your child gets killed, it's awful. And it is sick, and there's no reason for it. There just isn't. All right, I'm blabbing. I'm going to pull it together and keep going. Oh my goodness, if that is possible. But this is really emotional stuff. And usually I'm pretty good, but you know what? Sometimes it gets to me. I mean, a lot of times it gets to me. Sometimes when I'm actually live, it gets to me. And it's just the way it is, and it's fine. I will live. Because remember, I can always pretend as a white person. Racism, is different for me. I can pretend that I don't, I wouldn't, and I haven't, but I don't have to. And that is I don't have to live it. And that's incredibly unfair. Not that I should have to, but you shouldn't have to. Okay? If you're a Black, brown, or indigenous person, this is ludicrous. Anyway, I'm blabbing. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. And you know how big hockey is in Minnesota. Okay, Carrie Beck, you're so cute. Let me see. Hello to all the people who are here. I appreciate you. Michael Williams, in the system of white supremacy, one drop makes you Black, Obama, Markle, Tiger Woods, etc. Apparently that's our rule. I guess that's our rule that some white people made up. Okay. Let me see. You guys are having great comments. I really appreciate it. Ronald, I saw a post earlier today that talked about Prince Harry paying the royal family back for what they did to his mother. I'm sorry I didn't read it all. Yeah, okay, I read a little bit about that too. This is just, I'm guessing. I'm sure most people watching know more about it than I do. I believe that they were quite cruel to his mother, and he blames them. And I don't think this is payback in the sense like a purposeful, I'll get you back. But I'm guessing, just as a human on the planet, that he probably saw what happened to his mom, was devastated, obviously. I mean, you don't lose a mother like that and not be, obviously, you don't need me to tell you that. But I think he learned and realized what matters in life, and he's not going to put his wife through it. Just a guess. I have no idea, but yeah, I read a little bit about that too. Yeah, he's a royal, but you know what? He's a human. He's a royal. He's a human. When it comes down to it, he's a human being. And I absolutely applaud what he's doing. He's really stepping up and doing what he needs to do. And I have no doubt that they are absolutely, completely racist there because, I mean, oh, come on, the colonizers. And I have like a gazillion friends from the UK and they tell me all about it all the time, kid. It's a little hint, but okay, I cheated. But of course there is. And you know what? If they're willing to work on it, then that's great. But I don't know. I could go on and I do. Let's keep going. Yeah, Ron, I saw that too. Mr. FS Black. I know you are a rebuttal is a go-to for many white people when they're calling out on racism. Yes, they say you're the racist. It's like, oh God. Well, I know, and I get called that all the time. I'm racist because I talk about racism. It's like, So I'm not trying to trigger warning. People, trigger warning. I'm going to talk about sexual assault for 1 minute, and this is an example. So if you don't want to hear it, leave, because I don't want to hurt anybody. That's like saying if you talk about someone who raped you, you're a rapist. Come on. If you talk about a social issue, then come on. That's like, how old are we? 3? I'm sorry. That's just ludicrous. And I know you know that too, Mr. Best Black. I get that all the time. My neighbor told me, my white neighbor, she doesn't live there anymore. She said, you talk about racism, and that is so racist. You should stop making waves. And, sure, of course, white people want me to do that because it's uncomfortable to talk about racism for white folks for a number of reasons. And I get that. But you see, my job isn't to make white people's lives complete and make them feel like comfortable. I want to educate them. And there is, by definition, a certain amount of discomfort. This book, oh my God, we have to, this sounds so goofy, but it's like the pre-book to, if you want to learn about racism, this one first. White folks need to get to the point where we can take talking about whiteness and be okay with it. And it's not an easy point to get to. Because white people we don't think of ourselves as white. We're just us and everyone else is the other. And it's not how we do it. So anyway, but that is, oh my gosh, that's a classic cliche denial. It's a diversion. And well, you know all that stuff, Mr. Evans, you probably wrote the book, but yeah, it's obnoxious. Alan. Oh, wow. Okay. Please explain the difference between racism and bigotry. I can generally explain to you, I won't go into like extreme detail, but racism is what we call racism. And this is the academic, if anyone's out there listening going, you can't change the dictionary. Well, I haven't, but words in the United States and all over the place morph and change over time. Okay. Not that this one has, but if this isn't the definition you think of it, then you got to kind of redefine it, because most academia looks at the word racism as systemic racism. Okay. There's many different types of racism, but systemic racism is a system. It's not an individual, and it has to do with racism. Bigotry is something different. Racism has to do with race. And I used to know the exact definitions of all these, but racism is a system, and it's not any one person. It's a system that's power-based. And to be racist, you have to be in the power system. So people will say, Black people cannot, by definition, be racist. They don't have the power to harm you on a systemic level. I hope that makes sense. They don't. Maybe someday they will, but right now they don't. They don't have the power to not let you get a job just because your name is this or that. It looks like you could be a Black person. They don't have the power, or white person. They don't have the power. In some individual instances, they might, but not on a systemic level, so that it's kind of ruling the culture. And I'm not that great at explaining it, but it is off the cuff. Bigotry is usually used for like, for example, what I tell people is Black people can be rotten, mean, cruel, nasty, stereotyping, prejudiced, bigoted, but we don't use the word racist to define someone who is Black and doing those things, because there is a power differential that must be acknowledged. In order to be systemically racist, you have to be a part of the power. I hope that the power group, I suppose you could say. So I hope that makes sense. But I can definitely talk to you privately if it doesn't. And Sandra, I hope, oh my gosh, Sandra just put out an amazing song, and tomorrow I will get it out to everyone. Please check it out. She is incredible. Her voice is like incredible. So I'm going to make a really big deal of it. I'm going to put it out tomorrow and Friday all over the place. If you don't mind, the people here, could you help me put it out all over the place? Because she most recently got booted off of Facebook for the most ridiculous reason. And right when she's trying to market her stuff, her beautiful, singing and incredible. She's a professional singer. And she's very good. I mean, like, blow you away. So I really want us to help her. And I know I can count on everybody to do that. I already have one of her songs up, and I'm not even into music, and it's like, dang. So anyway, please check that out. That'll be out tomorrow or the next day when I catch up with life, because I've been away. Let me see here. Michael Williams. I showed a white person a story about these teachers spelling out the word coons, and they didn't see nothing wrong with it. Did they not know what the word meant? Maybe. Just a guess. Maybe they didn't know what it meant. I don't know. Like, that's a bad word. I don't know. That's weird. They didn't see anything wrong with it. I hope they're not teaching like any of our kids. That's kind of freaky. You'll have to tell me more. Racism is institutionalized. Bigotry is an individual behavior. Yeah, right. That's a good definition too. Now remember, when I went to school for multiculturalism, I graduated in applied behavioral sciences, which is basically multiculturalism. They called it ethnic studies at the time. Okay, it was like a long time ago, people. I'm very old. That is how they defined it then, and it was actually like, ooh, what an academic way to define it. It was like supposed to be all the rage. It's like sort of funny because now it's like, duh, but a lot of people take offense because the truth of the matter is white folks, we know so little about our own racial history. And we really, the more you learn, you just can't even believe how little we know. And the problem is it's the Dunning-Kruger effect again. We think we know a lot and we don't. So we think like our opinion is the same as a Black person's opinion who lives this every single day of their life. And it's not. My opinion is not more informed than a Black person's opinion who lives this every day. No. And so we kind of don't do very well learning about this stuff. And I'm just saying. Okay, I'll keep going. But Dave, one thing that I try not to do when I am discussing race with people of color, I always spend more time listening than talking and asking questions. Yeah, that's great. That's great. And again, there's little nuances and stuff like that you can really hurt people, not on purpose, but intent and racism, it doesn't matter. It might matter to you as a personally, well, I know in my heart that they didn't mean it. That's fine. But to be racist, intent doesn't matter. If I say something or do something that's racist, it's racist. Even if I didn't mean it. And I didn't mean to do that. Well, of course I didn't mean to do that. I'm not going to be a jerk on purpose. But it's still something that's racist. And it's not about me. I got to go and deal with my whatever and learn from it. but it's still racist. And actually, Trump, this is so crazy. A lot of people don't know this, but I was reading an article like 3 or 4 years ago, and one of the first things he did was he got a team of lawyers together to try to change the definition of racism in the Title IX stuff. He wanted there to be intent. In other words, you'd have to prove intent. Like, seriously? We don't even admit that we're racist. I mean, it's like, it's the dumbest thing ever. Obviously, he couldn't do it. He didn't do it. But he got a team together of attorneys to try to change the definition of what is considered racist in the laws that we have. Like, oh my God. So he was going for it, people. Oh my gosh. Dave, I will never know what the Black experience is like, really, since I am not a Black person. Right. Exactly. That's like a really good attitude. Like, yeah. And I mean, white folks, we are going to make mistakes. Oh my God. Like, continuously. And you feel like a moron. You feel, oh my God, I don't want them to think I'm racist. But you have to risk it. You have to learn to find your voice and talk about it. And you'll mess up. I mess up all the time. I mess up all the time. And I feel horrible. Oh my God, I feel awful. And then I just say, Kim, it's not about you. Learn from it. Yes, I might have destroyed a relationship and it was absolutely not intentional. Oh my gosh. But I have to learn from it. If I don't learn from it, then it really is a mistake. And that's all we can do, and then make less and less. And it's a steep learning curve. I mean, Black people and brown people and African-American people and, Native people aren't a monolith. You cannot always win. Sometimes you can't win. Like, for example, some Black people do not like being called African-American. They don't. It's incredibly upsetting to them. And then some people I've met do not want to be called Black. It's like, you're calling me a color. What the fuck, So it's like, and yeah, we can't win sometimes. We don't know what to say. And certainly most people I've met, and I can't speak for Black people, do not want to be categorized as people of color. Okay? They might be people of color, but there's a lot going on with that right now. And that terminology, I believe, is starting to morph, and this stuff does morph over time. And we gotta, like, my first videos like 5 years ago or 6 years ago, I used people of color and it was absolutely acceptable. And now people see the video and they're like, what? I used institutionalized racism. I used because that's how I was taught when I was in college. And people are like, that's not right. So it's like, words change and we gotta, the way it goes, we're gonna go with it. So let me see here. GETV, what do you think about the most disgusting treatment of the little Black child to wash a bath? Oh, that was terrible. Yeah. Toilet with his bare hands, his teacher, how much more real human. Yeah. How much more do real humans need to see what is really on? Yeah. That was just beyond bizarre. Like, yeah, that was horrible. Just horrible. Clearly, that was crazy. I have no comment about that. I don't know. I posted it and the lady, like, I don't know. And I'm not making excuses. There's no excuse. Like, was she having a break from reality? Like, she said, I don't even know why I did it. It was like, you're a teacher. You're taking care of our children and you don't know why you made a little baby boy, a little Black baby boy, forcing him to stick his hand in the toilet that had potty in it. Because that's what kids do. They stuff the toilet paper in. That's what they do. That's their job. Okay. To humiliate a child, let alone a little Black child. Oh my God. I mean, she said, I don't know why I did it. It's like, she needs to just, maybe something's wrong with her. So I don't know. Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. But something's wrong with her. It's not good. No. I mean, that's beyond bizarre. Poor little guy. But it seems like his parents are really on top of it, and they're going to, teach him that he's worth and he's not. But it's a terrible thing. Really weird. Oh, Michael has DVDs for me. Thank you. I love animals and all, but I understand exactly what I mean, as much as I could understand. Yeah, you're a human being, and you see people treating animals better than they treat you. I don't even have words to. I cannot imagine. Can't imagine. You're wonderful, Tito. I know you love animals. But yeah, but hello? How about the humans here? Yeah. Margarita, hello. God bless the victims of the families of the Atlantic shooting. Yes, that is incredibly sad. And if anybody wants to talk about that, jump right in. T. Rogers, treat others people's children you would want someone to the way you'd want someone to treat your child. Yep. I feel that you on that. Absolutely. I know we're so much alike that way. Like in a heartbeat. I mean, in a heartbeat. It's just part of who you are. Like you just are born that way. Like I truly believe that I want to like be a good parent to everybody that I can, everybody's kids. It's just kind of a thing, I guess. Mr. Vest Black, the father of Tatiana Jefferson has expressed similar feelings, which is why the mainstream media has stayed away from talking to him. He refuses to just be paid off after police murdered his child. Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't blame him on it. I mean, if they said how much is enough, I'd say, give me my child back. That's what I'd say. And I know that sounds like rotten, but sorry. That's just how I feel. These things don't have to happen. They don't. Thanks, Mr. FS Black. You're trying to make me cry again. God. GETV, Sandra Booker, thanks for the info. That's insightful explanation. We kind of had the same thoughts as well. Michael, I love when me as a Black man talk to other Black people about racism. They say I am spreading racism. I shake my head, my damn head, and just walk away. Oh, Black people do that to you? Really? Well, I don't have an answer for that, but I could see that because, like, it's. Here's the thing. Even though white folks are like kind of created the system, everyone's indoctrinated into it. It's easy to buy into it. It really is easy because it's everywhere. It's like it's everywhere. That's really sad though, but yeah. I know, there's no monolith. Some Black people don't want to talk about it, and they resent me for ever talking about it. And I don't think they should have to talk about it if they don't want to. I don't tell Black people what to do. Nope. But I mean, it's sad if they're like so damaged from society that they can't talk about it. I mean, if maybe they just want to like break or something. But with regards to you, that's got to be really hard because, yeah, it's white supremacy isn't good for anybody. We just don't realize it. Maybe it's good for the wealthiest elites or something, but I mean, it's really not good for the masses. White folks don't get it. Really sad. Michael, I like people who get it. Some people love to stay in their box, and that's okay. It's got to be hard though, but for you, because maybe you want to express yourself, and they're like, but yeah, I think some people, maybe they just can't take it anymore. I have no judgment on that. I mean, I'm white and I probably can't take it sometimes. So, I mean, not even a comparison, but yeah, that's gotta be tough there. I'm sorry that happens. Let me see here. The mainstream, Mr. FS Black, the mainstream news has been doing a subliminal smear campaign on Black America. Oh, as always, like we have enough power to oppress Asians or any other community where we attack without consequences. Yeah, I mean, when Black people attack, they're killed. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I was wondering about that because I don't watch a ton of mainstream media because I don't have TV. If you can believe that, I don't really have TV. Sounds like a weird thing, but I don't. Um, but yeah, I've heard that, and it's a real disservice. Um, a real disservice. Not good. Um, but yeah, to be honest, I noticed when I saw, like, when I did see, it was like 3 weeks ago. I saw 3 incidences from the media, and they were all Black people doing something to an Asian person. I was like, dang, they're really pushing that ticket. I thought, well, maybe that was just chance that I just saw it, but maybe that's what I saw, what you're talking about. I was like, wow, I'm not going there. But 'cause I don't pit as a white person. Oh my God. That's like sick shit. I don't pit people against each other. I'm sorry, white supremacy. They don't call it white supremacy for nothing. It's white people. Okay, really? I know other people can be bigoted and they can be this and they can be that and they can have prejudices, but it's called white supremacy. Let's not let's keep it real. We white people created this. White people perpetuate this. And that is why it is. And I know some people are too hurt to ever, and I don't blame them, but at some point, we have got to get together. All the people who care in the LGBTQ community, Black, Brown, Indigenous, Native, African American, everybody who cares about their fellow human needs to unite and stop the wealthiest elites. It may be too late. Our democratic republic might be done. It might be too late no matter what anyone does. But we got to try, and we won't unite. If we unite, we have the numbers. We do. Just saying. So, actually, when I was younger, I don't want to talk about this too much. When I was younger, I started an organization in my community. I wasn't that much younger. I started an organization that pulled the leaders from all of the communities. I guess you could call them, special interest communities, or I know there's a word for it. I'm blanking on it. And I brought us all together, and I got the public in on it, and it was going to be such an amazing thing. I did it for months and months and months, and then a jealous white person sabotaged it and destroyed it. And it's a long story. I'm not going to get into it, but it's like I've had that feeling for a long, long time. Kind of like the Martin Niemöller type thing is that when don't pretend you don't see it because your group's next. And if everyone could come together. And it started off great. And I was very naive, and I blame myself still. I try not to, but I allowed somebody to destroy it and sabotage it. I didn't know. I was too trusting. So there's that. So I've always had a really strong belief that if we could ever, and then I read Michelle Alexander's book, The New Jim Crow. I'm like, hey, that's not even an original idea for me. Somebody else made that up. So it was really good. But anyway, sorry, I haven't really gotten into any substance. I'm reading comments. But I'm actually kind of catching up. My God, you should read Neely Fuller Jr. Okay, I will look into it. T. Rogers. I don't like being called African American. It implies that I'm from Africa. I've never been to Africa. Yeah. No, totally. I get it. It's really hard because, you don't know, you have to be respectful, but you don't know what's respectful sometimes. But as a white person, we got to ask maybe, or take a chance, or realize that if you're wrong, and probably not the first person to ever mess up. But yeah, I get that. Absolutely. I don't know what I would think. I don't know what my feelings would be. Carried back, thank you so much. if you knew what I was doing before this, God. Thank you so much. I will keep going. I'm blabbing on and on. Wow, you guys are incredibly supportive just to be here. Furthermore, there are white people. Oh, yes, absolutely. Furthermore, there are my family watched Mean Girls, this like older video, I guess. While I was away, and they said that one of the kids was from Africa. And I said, well, is she a black child or she was a white child? And they said, no, she's a white child. And I said, yeah. I said, from South Africa, maybe? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. Does she have an accent? And they're like, no. So I didn't get that, but I've never seen the show. But yeah, Mean Girls, something like that. Yeah, I mean, like, I was like, oh. So that's kind of interesting. But right, there are white people in Africa, absolutely. And not just South Africa, other places too. Let me see. Michael Williams, I like people who get it. Some people love to stay in the right. We already read that. Oops. Michael Williams, like the Bible talks about, 2/3 of people ain't gonna to make it. Ooh. And GETV, we're saying good night to you and all your viewers. It's really been great. Thank you. You didn't have time for your rant. Just saying, I know you hate that rant. I know. My rant tonight was a mean one. I'd probably lose everybody. Thank you so much, Carrie, for saying this is my best show. If you knew how I was crying before this show, you would be like, what? Thank you. I just lost it. I do that. Thank you so much. People are pushing LGBTQ hardcore, and a lot of people, when you tell people about Black people and do something for Black family structure, they say stuff like, well, equal rights. Tell me more. They're pushing LGBTQ hardcore. Now, the reason they are pushing LGBTQ hardcore is right now transgender people do not have human rights in many states. Yes, you heard me correctly. And that is what my rant is about. And it does not negate or take away from Black folks who have been dealing with systemic racism for their entire lives and for generation after generation. Right now, this is going to sound insane because I try to study every day systemic racism, but right now in 11 states, if you are a person born transgender, you can be fired from your job, or not hired because the reason being you're transgender, and it's perfectly legal. Okay. You can be kicked out of your house, not rented to. Okay, someone's losing it over there with this like cookie something. Okay, stop it. But you can not be given a loan. You can, they are not included in 11 or more states. Okay, so that's why they're pushing. I'm guessing that's what you're saying. And there is the Equality Act is going on right now. They're trying to push it through the Senate. And what the Senate's doing is a horrible, horrible thing. Well, for them, it's probably not that horrible because you see what they're doing is they're lying. Basically, they're making up information. They're completely full of shit. And that's what my rant was about tonight. So I don't know. I think everyone's pretty clear on my personal philosophy that when one group is treated like that, that is all of our business. And there are transgender people, love it, hate it. It's a fact. From the beginning of time, there have always been transgender. This is not a trend. This is not a fad. And right now, in many states in our country, they do not have their human rights. And it's kind of funny. I won't do my rant. I'll probably just do it and make a video of it sometime. But the truth is, not unlike people who are not unlike people who are Black in that, there's obviously huge differences, but there are some similarities. Okay. You can't pretend you're not Black. I'm sorry. You cannot. Okay. So, and the histories, the generational abuse, and there's huge differences. But for a moment, I want to just, if you would indulge me, one slight comparison is when white people believe they know more about systemic racism than an actual Black person or a brown person living it today. That's ludicrous. Well, the similarity I'm discussing is a cisgendered person, a person who is straight, I guess you could say. I guess that's the old-fashioned term, I'm not sure. And for some reason, doesn't know a single solitary person who was born transgender, yet their opinion is very strong about transgender people, having never talked to a transgender person. I know you weren't in their entire life. And I'm not, Michael, I wasn't bashing the community. It's just some people push Black people here on the back burner and that family structure. I don't care the race. Some people don't care about the family structure. Yeah. No. I know you're not. I'm not. You just kind of like sparked me to think. T. Rogers, my coworker, and her wife are having a hard time adopting from agencies because most adoption agencies will not work with same-sex couples. Yeah. And it's kind of on us in America. We are like, oh, so offended. A lot of different countries laugh at us if they heard that. They'd be like, what? You have a child that needs a home and you won't let it go to a family because they're not man and, oh my God, like that's cruel. And as a mother who's adopted a child, it's like, that's appalling to deny a child a lifelong family. Michael, I think I kind of get what you're saying. I kind of do, and you don't have to explain. You can explain more, and I'll definitely read it, or we can just talk privately. I think I know you're wonderful, Michael. I'm not like trying to come down on you or anything. It's just like I saw that word, and I'm like, that's what my rant was about. I know I can say a lot, but I know some transgender people, and oh, T. Rogers, I did not know that. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Two of mine are tummy babies, and one of them was adopted, and she's my chosen one because I chose her. I chose the other ones, but they kind of showed up, really. Yeah, best thing that I ever did in my entire life is to adopt. That's honestly, hands down. Like, I want her to be the poster child of adoption. Like, whatever. But anyway, that's so cool. We got to talk, T. We definitely, I had no idea. And anyway, blah. I lost my train of thought, which is, it's kind of been one of those days. But yeah, I heard this. I have a special place in my heart for the abuse that transgender people take in America. And I saw some transgender kids that grew up, and they're incredible people. A young man now, and my kids were friends with them, like close friends. I got to know them over the years, like really well. And if you know a person who's transgender, you will never, ever not be supportive. Oh, it's real. Who in a million years would ever choose in this society to be transgender with the hate and cruelty? You guys, 2021, there are states that can refuse you housing, doctors, insurance, work because you were born transgender. That's fucked up. Seriously? It's 2021. Oh my God. And if you don't know somebody, you felt like Black Lives Matter protests were hijacked by the Pride folks. Interesting. Yeah, I could really tell me more, because I didn't really notice that, and I covered it. Oh my God, I covered like probably hundreds. I even went to DC myself, which was like the best experience ever. I went to DC, and I got to like interview people that were on Black Lives Matter, like, I don't want to get it wrong, Avenue. I'm friends with a lot of transgender people. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I don't like when people hijack other people's, well, white people tried to hijack. God, I mean, yeah, I didn't realize that too, Rogers. I want to hear more about that, because I mean, I do my best, but I don't know everything. But yeah, that's kind of a bummer. They should be supporting the Black Lives Matter, absolutely, 100,000%. I mean, we're all humans, and I've seen the other side, people denying in some of my groups much earlier on, not really recently, but much earlier on, when I was first starting some groups. I had some Black folks come on and said, it was really interesting. They came on, oh, interesting. That's not good. Yeah, I mean, that's not cool. And I know that, hey, I had a white person destroy my nonprofit that I started. And the reason they destroyed it was because I said, this is going to be run by the people, not by white people. They're going to be run by the people who lead the organizations, not by the white volunteers. And they got really pissed. And that's when they destroyed me. But oh, it's okay. Yeah, see, that's not good. That's a whole, oops. Black Gay Lives Matter. Oh, I see. Yeah, so they're trying to like convolute it. It's like, yeah, that's really unfortunate. But and that can happen. People, boy oh boy. But anyway, thank you so much for being here tonight. It's been an emotional night. I won't always be a wreck, just sometimes. I want to invite everybody to, if you support what I'm doing, which is basically trying to educate white folks, get them to see this like white person talking about racism. I live through it every time. And if I can do it, you can do it. You just got to get comfortable talking about it. And you'll learn something every day till the last breath you take. And it is so worth it. It closes the cognitive dissonance in our culture, in our life, in our society. It's such, I'm all for gay rights and all, but that wasn't the topic at the time. Yeah, it's like, it's like somebody coming into your, cancer, breast cancer awareness and saying, well, what about prostate cancer? It's like, okay, no, this is a breast cancer. It's like, what are you doing? Or whatever. I mean, it's even worse than that, because it's not, it's terrible. Yeah. Thank you, Carrie Beck. You're so sweet. You're so good to me. I'm a fake. But I really want you to come on. I really want you to come on, Carrie Beck. Can you make sure to get a hold of me? I'm all over the place, so I'm so terrible. But I'd love you to come on. Can't thank everyone enough for being here. There's a good chance that from now on for this show, since I was such a wreck before when you didn't see me, I might just do a rant and then I call it shoot the shit with you guys. Just this, talk to everybody about stuff and take calls instead of preparing. I prepare like a lot of stuff, and it's kind of overwhelming because I expect like a lot. So I might be doing that. I'm not sure, but I might be kind of just to take the pressure off. I hope it's not horrible, but I want to make this nice. But I just love talking to everybody and listening to what you say and learning from you and thinking of all these things I have to look up, and it's like so hard to keep up because the news cycle. But I am doing free streaming on Sunday from 3 to 5. It's where I just do videos. Thank you, T. Rogers. You're so sweet. I'm going to do top 10 videos, and I'm going to try to get a set format. I'm going to try to brand it. I'm going to do all these things, try to get a little more branded so I can get the word out, and top 10 of many, many things that are economic, anti-racism, and all that stuff, and try to make them interesting. And while I'm doing that, I basically work online. Thanks to you, Rogers. I have a rant tonight that I think would make people leave, actually. I'm just so passionate about, because of all of the groups, transgender people are one of the most abused groups. I'm talking, like, I'm sure you know, T, you know, the statistics are off the chart, for suicide, for them being murdered, for them being abused, for them being homeless, for the, I mean, it's just, it's like, and it's because of us, our society. It's completely unnecessary. And I find it to be sick as hell. So really, really tough. When I think of the kids that I know, and they're not kids anymore, they're like 20 somethings, and they don't deserve that. They're really good people. And they were born transgender. I put up a video today of a young woman who is 16. Her name is Stella. Oh gosh, I'm blanking on her name now. Stella something. Gosh, it just slipped through my memory. What was that? And she spoke today in front of the senators at a hearing about the Equality Act. And that would be a national rule that make people, and they can't force the states, or the states are just going nuts trying to take away transgender people's rights right now. There's scores of bills being thrown through. If you look up transgender rights, you'll see every state's just, they're going crazy. And what they're doing is they're doing it because they say, we really don't want girls who aren't girls to play in sports. Okay, that is like, oh my God, it's unbelievable. Because you see, I got to tell you one stat. Okay, that's it. I'm telling you a stat really fast. Don't hate me on it. Don't hate me for it. I'm going down. This is for my rant, and I hope you watch my rant, even though a lot of people just are like, oh, not going to watch that. Let me just see. I've got to find it. It is outlandish. This is how I'll do it. Got it. Okay, so check this out. The Olympics, like that big old thing, all the countries in the world compete. They've had trans-inclusive policies since 2004. 2004, you do the math. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh, 17 years. But not a single openly transgender athlete has ever even qualified in 17 years. So we can say, oh, they're going to take over sports and pretend to be girls so that they can be good. 17 years. Let's be real. California has been doing this since 2013 and never had a single incident. Yale studies show. I mean, I could go on. So basically, the GOP, once again, are completely full of shit. And I personally, it's unbelievable. It's cruel and it's sick, and no words. No words. It's just the same thing as when they took a lie and said that the election was rigged and there's fraud, even though there wasn't. They're saying we can't let them have their human rights to, not get fired from a job, because they can get fired. Just, oh, you're transgender, bye, you're fired. They can get kicked out of their housing. all these horrible things. And the excuse that the GOP is making is because they don't want the girls to play in sports because it won't be fair. There isn't one shred of evidence. In fact, they're just to the contrary. I even get into some medical stuff. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They're full of it. They're lying. It's really sick. Okay. Super kick party. When we come to Christ, we no longer the most important person in the world to us. Oh, Christ is, instead of living only for ourselves, we have a higher goal to live for Jesus. Yeah. I personally am not religious in any way, shape, or form. I respect people who live by their real religion. Like, I don't like fake Christians who are like racist and, one hand, and then they treat their fellow humans like a piece of shit, and then say, but I'm a Christian. It's like, I don't know what you are, but and obviously I respect, I don't know you, Super Kick Party. I have many friends who are actually incredible Christians because they actually live by I call it real Christianity, but too many people, the Tea Party, Tea Party. I don't know a lot about religion, but if your religion tells you to treat your fellow human like a piece of crap, you're probably doing it wrong. So I'm a little jaded, Super Kick Party, and with all due respect, I'm a little jaded. So, but I appreciate you being here. And on that note, I really wanted to do my rant, but I can't. That's okay. I just wanted to tell everyone, I hope you can come to the second meeting of the book club. You don't have to read the book. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you don't have to read the book at all. I will summarize it, and then we'll have our panel talk about it. And right, religion and true Christianity. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I know when I know when someone's hating on their fellow human, I'm like, and they profess to be like this religion. I'm like, oh boy, just things have to make sense to me. I might not be the smartest person in the world, but I have some like common sense here. Like, that's like, seriously, don't hide behind your religion. And a lot of the Tea Party people have really done that. It's a horrible, horrible thing. But I have a lot of friends who I call them real Christians. And I know it sounds horrible, but that's what I do. I keep it real as much as I can. So thank you for being here, Super Kick Party. And free streaming on Sunday, 3 to 5. And a 9 o'clock panel. And I'll just quickly tell you what's in the chapter. It's kind of interesting. And then the panel can just take over from there. All right. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. You're wonderful. And Carried Back, please get a hold of me. I'm going to beg you to come on. So thank you for everyone for being so supportive. It was a rough day. I don't usually make it all about me, but it was a rough day. But I got through it thanks to you guys. So I will see you hopefully on Sunday. Yay. All right. And don't be a stranger. If you come by and I'm like doing work on the free stream, you can tell me about your life. You can call me anything. Good night, I'm Legend. Good night, Carried Back. You're just like, it doesn't have to be about racism. It can be anything. Just tell me your life story. Tell me who you are or anything. Okay. Thanks, you guys. Good night, everybody. You are the reason I am here. Thank you. Sweet dreams. And I hope I see you on Sunday.